This is Charlie Kao with Travel Mall Media Group at the Airline Travel Payment Summit in Fort Worth, Texas, and with Tony Burke, who's Vice President with CellPoint Mobile. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Charles. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. I'm not really that acquainted with CellPoint, so good starting point is please help us with a little background on what your company does.
Yeah. That's fair enough, Charles, because we're quite a new company, especially into the airline industry, and our expertise is within the payment area. So what we have found is kind of, going from some of the legacy products, and what we're seeing is coming into the future. So we have some nice software solutions that can actually mitigate some of those gaps within the payment space. So right now, we are in a position where we're able to give the airlines the control back from the payment industry, and that's what they like at the moment.
A little bit further detail of example of what that is, what that control is, what that solution does.
So for instance, if you have, as it is in many airlines today, you have a fragmented payment infrastructure, you have many payment methods, you have many providers within that space, it becomes quite tough to consolidate and do reconsolidation and stuff like that. So by enabling some of all the new payments methods, it's becoming very complex and will take some time. So what we do is that we harness all those different, by putting in the middle layer, giving the control back, putting all the payments methods in there, so it's very easy to control and enable new payments methods.
A middle layer of API, whatever you want to call it, and does that middle layer facilitate airlines who have operating on various systems, multiple systems?
Yeah, so one of the benefits is that we are not actually only a payment company, because we're not kind of competing with the payment service providers and the acquirers and stuff like that, but we're more orchestrating the payment flow, integrating to the different systems, so we are able to connect into loyalty systems if you want to do payment based on loyalty points, or if you want to do split tender or with a credit card and points. And then one of the benefits is how we actually enable on, if you want to have a card on file, to do some of the checks and stuff like that. So we do quite a lot, just only on the payment side and enabling new payment methods, but also giving a lot of value, and that's why we're saying we give control back to the airline in terms of how to control all these new methods.
Did I understand correctly that some of the mid-layer links to various other vendors, whichever they may be using already?
Yeah, so right now we are linked into a lot of third-party, as we call them, vendors. So it varies depending on the airline. If it's a big airline, probably have a lot of systems in-house, versus smaller airlines who are small third-party vendor. But even though we see a lot of airlines right now is more dependent on third-party vendors outside in the cloud, because that's more cost efficient, they have the core expertise, but our job is to tie all those things together and give the control to the airline.
What about other travel sectors? Do you work in hospitality?
We work with hotels? Rail, travel agents. So right now we're just very focused, because airline is a big industry. It's an industry that is actually transforming itself right now from not selling tickets, but becoming more like a convenience store of ancillary services, which requires a lot of speed development and new payment method, the way they do it. And with old companies or legacy companies, sometimes it can be tough to change due to the systems, due to the organization, decision-making process and stuff like that. But that's where we come in. We have a very aggressive way of doing it, and we do not expect anybody else to fit into our system. We expect that we fit into their systems, which saves them a lot of time.
Is it appropriate to ask a couple of examples of customers you've deployed recently, or?
Absolutely not. So one of our, which we are proud of, is of course that we're working with Emirates Airlines, which actually purchased a lot of our systems, and we are constantly working on implementing new solutions. And One, you might have seen that we were the first to launch, together with Emirates, Apple Pay. So not only for ancillary revenue, but actually for purchasing whatever you want to purchase. A full first-class business ticket from Dubai to Fort Worth, you can do that now with Apple Pay. And in the future, the payments ecosystem is extremely fragmented. So we know that now we will see Samsung Pay, Google, Visa, Master, all of these new ways, which requires that you can enable them fast, and that's what we do and have.
And this is out of headquarters or operational headquarters, or out of where?
Yeah, so we are around the globe. So we have offices in the UK, in the US, we have in Denmark, we have down in India. So we are growing. As I said in the beginning, there's a reason why you probably haven't heard about us, because we are kind of the new boys.
Well, actually heard of you the last few years, but just not quite sure what space you will fulfilling.
So we're growing, and we're becoming more mature and more known now. And I think you can compare us of some of the new guys is actually doing stuff a little different, which takes a little time to be accepted in terms of how people are seeing we can do stuff, right? Because it's this is how we did it, and that's the mindset right now. But it requires different thoughts now because of the speed. So that's what we provide.
What speed of processing or speed of implementing, or both? Implementing.
Yeah, processing is processing, right? By the way, we always say always real time.
Understand. I know Emirates wouldn't accept anything except speed. That's it.
What we do, we have a few case stories. If you're interested, I could give you that based on Emirates, what we actually achieved with them in terms of using our platform. So they save a lot of time on the implementation and the agility we brought in. So we have some numbers on that where you see the benefits of using our platform.
If it's not secret, I presume they have on their chart workflow, they have stuff going the next 2-3 years.
We're quite busy, let me say it like that. But not only with these guys, because now since we've been successful in this area, I would say we spotted a gap which nobody else fulfills right now. So we are quite busy of explaining this to our clients, and we are seeing a lot of traction right now, because one thing, the payment space is extremely fragmented. It requires new payment methods very quickly, and if you go around into different regions, it's quite difficult to actually comprehend. So that's what we help them with.
Tony Burke, Vice President of CellPoint Mobile, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, Charles.